group of opposition met, and he did not even know, but God gave him the sense of prayer. And you go to a prayer meeting with Bishop Dell, it wasn't no getting down, getting up. You stayed there for hours. And I feel like he had adapted this from Dad Mason. Listening to the tape of Dad Mason's funeral the other day, talked about how Dad Mason would come in and hit you on the head, and Bishop Dell was a lot like Dad Mason. He was a praying man, a man who prayed and could get a prayer through. Not only was he a praying man, but he was a musician. He could tell when the choir was on key, and he could tell when they weren't. And he was a perfectionist.
Yes, he was.
When you marched in, you couldn't go to the one side, you had to go straight. And if you didn't, he would beat you back in line. A man who loved the Lord, a man who prophesied in my life. And a day before his 90th birthday, I never shall forget, he was sitting on his bed, and he told me, he said, "Son, your future is bright. You be honest and stay with the Lord, and be humble before the Lord. The Lord has great things in store for you." And he left me his bishop's ring. I did not even know, but inscribed in this ring is J. Howard Dell. And I wear this ring with pride. And when I became appointed as bishop, I told the church, told the adjutant general, I said, "Well, I don't have to buy a ring because I already got one." I said, "Bishop Dell left me this ring." So you still had to buy one. You had to buy one. It was remarkable. And in the chamber of the bishop, all you have to do is mention J. Howard Dell's name. Not only does F.D. Washington stand out, not only does Bishop J.O. Patterson, but J. Howard Dell stands out in this great old Church of God in Christ. And he has meant so much to my family. He was there at the demise of my father. He eulogized my father, and he was at his best at funerals. You thought you were a Methodist preacher. He was at his best. And I started a telecast, and I got some tapes after his death, and he could make a sermon out of anything. A flashlight fell and landed straight up, and he made a sermon out of that. And that was a woman to whom I worked with. She was a Jehovah's Witness and was so impressed with that sermon and that delivery that Bishop Dell brought. It is our prayer and hope that God will make us more like Jesus, but emulate the statures of Bishop Dell as he so lived and now rest in the arms of the Lord. And Mother Dell, you can attest to the fact, but we're going to do all we can to make it comfortable for you and keep you looking good like you are looking. And so when the Lord elevated me, I said I would never want to be like some people had done in the past, to mistreat anybody, and particularly somebody who is served in ministry. I preached out 3 churches, one in Albany, one in Sylvester, one in East Albany. And I was under the leadership of Bishop Dell. And when I started the church in Albany, he wrote a letter to the bank, and we were able to secure the loan. And not only did he write the letter, but he donated $3,000 for us. And back then, well, even now, $3,000 is a lot of money. And it was very impressive to the bank that you had a leader leading, and not only by precept and example, but aiding new ministries. And he was all about ministries and all about people being saved. So we thank the Lord today for all that the Lord has done through the life of Bishop J. Howard Dell.